how and when to do a 3-stage paint correction.
I'm Ivan.
I'm Nick.
This is DIY Detail. Today, we're gonna go over correcting this Lexus hood. Apparently, the owner of this vehicle was fans of the Dukes of Hazzard because there's scratches going left to right. This scratches up and down. They probably slid across their hood more than once. And we see it just about everywhere. But we're only gonna be correcting half the hood in this video.
Yeah, when I look at this hood, Ivan, I look at something like they put their grocery bags on here. They were cavalier with the hood as a place to put things, almost like you with this polisher right now.
But I have a nice wool pad on it. It's nice and soft. It's not gonna scratch anything. They were that. They also have a beautiful sticker in the windshield telling them they can go through a car wash anytime they want. So, and obviously they did.
I do wonder what this hood would say if it could tell some stories.
If it could tell some stories, it would probably be a horror story. That being said, we're gonna do a 3-stage paint correction. You don't necessarily have to do a 3-stage paint correction, but we've been asked to do that many times by you. And when this hood came in, we thought, yep, this is the candidate.
We like to teach anybody how to do this.
Right.
This could be my brother, my dad, my friend, my daughter, when she's old enough to, be able to hold on to a polisher, right?
Yep.
So this is not something that you should be intimidated by. However, we always teach least aggressive method first.
Right.
So you're not gonna go right to the wool pad all the time. So tell me what your thought process is, Ivan, when you think about a 3-stage correction or polish.
So, actually we only teach a 2-stage normally because that's all you need. And the 3rd stage is just we want to show you what each pad can do. This one, we know we need to get aggressive with it. There's obvious damage to it. It's not just a few swirls here and there. Like I said, someone slid across the hood. We see big stripes going left to right. We have stripes going up and down. We have marks, like Nick said, of someone putting a grocery bag on it and dragging it across. It's just not a happy hood, and we're gonna try to make it happy. First step, Nick is dunking a towel in rinseless wash. The reason for that is it's gonna aid us in removing the polish residue. I'm gonna clean the pad using the pad washer. We have rinseless wash diluted 256:1 in the pad washer, and we're just gonna dampen. This is a brand new pad, still needs to be dampened and cleaned.
You know, a wise man told me once, Ivan, never put clean polish on a dirty pad.
Exactly. We have clean pad, we have clean polish. And in this case, we have a 25mm stroke dual action machine.
I know of just about nobody who does one spray. Everybody has their own preference, Ivan. They put 4 sprays, they put dots.
Right.
Can you just convince them once and for all, one firm pull of the trigger like you're angry at it on a wet or moist pad that's just been cleaned is all you need?
That's all you need. And if you put more on the pad, you're actually not going to correct as well. It's designed to be just one pull, not more. And sometimes it actually works better with a little less, like half a pull. But one pull is the maximum. Don't go over that.
This is a system that works well. All right, let's get to polishing.
Speed 3 on our dual action machine, and you'll see I'm exerting a lot of pressure here.
That was only 2 passes, Ivan.
3. Up, down, left, right, up, down.
I think I missed the 3rd pass.
Yeah.
I was so into it that I lost track.
We're just getting a baseline.
Okay.
So we want to know, we don't want to start polishing and polishing and polishing for hours when it could be just one simple set of passes like this and we're done.
So this is where the least aggressive method comes in. You know the paint's nasty, but you're not trying to do anything too crazy early, right? We only have a finite amount of clear coat, which is what people think of as paint.
Yeah.
Right? What is clear coat, by the way? We're talking to beginners here, potentially beginners who may be doing this for the first time.
It's paint with no pigment. It's clear. That's all it is.
And how much clear coat is on the average vehicle, if you could Give them a picture.
Half of a Post-it note.
Yep, that's why least aggressive first.
And I'd say we already have a good 80% correction there.
A few deeper left behind, but we teach shiny scratches, right? Shiny paint, leave the deep stuff. We're not trying to be a hero here.
It's glossy.
That's hazy, this is shiny. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, exactly. There's a big difference. I'm cleaning my pad once again. I'm gonna go over the section one more time because we said, maybe we could get a little more correction. Again, not being aggressive. I'm not putting any weight on the machine. I'm not spinning it at speed 6. I'm just lightly going over the surface with the pad to get those scratches.
Yeah, you don't exert pressure, and you rock and roll on what, speed 3?
I'm at 2 right now.
Okay. So a couple more passes.
Couple more passes. Again, very light-handed. No pressure, no weight on the machine.
If you haven't tried a rinseless wash dampened towel, just damp. Not sopping wet, just damp. The surfactants in there just cut through the polish residue. It feels safe, it works very well. And
that's looking spectacular.
that's looking, I think we're at, what, 70% you think?
Easy, yeah.
Easy, and then there's a few deep ones that I don't want anybody to go after because there's no point.
No.
If I wasn't looking at a light source in front of me bouncing at this, I wouldn't even see those, and I'm a detailer.
Exactly.
So this is the method Ivan really preaches, is don't go after those really deep scratches. Nobody sees them. The amount of gloss we're seeing now is what we're going after, but we're gonna now refine that pattern with the wool to add more gloss.
We're gonna add more gloss, but I'm actually gonna do a little section beside here to compare the wool to the foam. That way you'll see a difference and you'll see the necessity for the wool. I've always said that if you're gonna have just one pad in your life, this is the pad to have. The gold standard waffle pad does a great job. It has enough cut, but a great finish at the same time. So we'll do our 3 passes here just to compare, see what it looks like. And we've got some nice, deeper scratches here. Again, this is, probably the shopping bag that went crazy, so.
Ivan, if folks are looking for the gold standard polish, it's gonna be on the bottom left-hand side of their screen.
Yeah.
It's gonna be in the add product section.
Oh, right there. Okay.
Oh, yeah, right there, yeah. Anyway, if you're curious, the waffle pad, it's all there. But I mentioned waffle pad, and I don't know if we reference this to people because they're like, why isn't this flat foam? Like, I've never seen a waffle pad before. Can you explain the waffle real quick?
Well, what the waffle is doing for you is a couple things. First of all, we actually have better contact with the paint with a waffle pad than you do a flat pad. There's not a flat surface on here. So the waffle pad actually contours better. Secondly, it's moving air at the same time. And as it's moving air, it's keeping the pad cool. And the cooler we can keep the surface, the better paint correction we're gonna have and the less damage we're inflicting into the paint.
That's excellent. So the contact patch is more even because of the grooves of this surface?
Right, because the fact that the surface is a little softer when you press on it, so it can conform to this concave curve here. Or if we're going here, it could conform to this one.
Let's see it in action.
See it in action. So 1 spray of polish, again, all you need. Back to speed 2.
Ivan, what I love about the gold standard polisher, I know we're right next to the plug. The 30-foot cord, not everybody loves them, but I don't know, if you like the 30-foot cord out there, we've got them. What do you guys think? Write in the comments below. Are you a fan of long cords or short ones? Because we've got long ones. So for me, you never know where your outlet's gonna be unless you have a fancy detailing cart like we do.
Exactly.
It's nice to have that long cord. And I like how you get a non-stalling pad
Right.
on that polisher on speed 2.
Exactly.
Like
So-
how many polishers out there are gonna keep spinning the backing play on speed 2?
Not many. So the deeper scratches that we had here, they're rounded over. We barely see them now. So they're going away. Now, can we improve that with a wool pad? Definitely. So we are gonna step up to the wool pad. And that is what doing a test spot is. Instead of starting with a wool pad. Now we knew this one needed the wool pad, but if you're not sure, start with a foam pad, see what it looks like.
Ivan, I think this could be a full send though. Like we teach this all day, every day.
Right.
Yellow waffle, gold standard, one step your way to, profitable detailing, right? So pros out there, the one step is a very profitable method.
Yeah.
This is very shiny.
This is
The
very
scratches
shiny.
are deeper, so certain
Yeah.
areas are gonna refract a little hazier, right? With the light.
Oh, exactly, yeah.
But this to me is like, this is detail talk. A little hazier, but more defect removal. A little shiny, but I see a few deep ones. Like, that's why we do this, and then we step it up so we get the best of all worlds.
Exactly.
But you could kind of live here a lot of the time.
Oh, definitely. That, for 90% of the people in the world, this is spectacular.
A little glossier here right now.
Yeah, we have more, we've added gloss.
Yep.
Because the less cut you have, the more gloss you have, and vice versa. So we're wanting this, the wool pad leaves it glossy and shiny, but if you compare it, it's like, oh, well, actually it's not that glossy and shiny.
Ivan, they say comparison is the thief of joy. Because
Yes.
both of these would give acceptable results, right?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. But there are certain times, different paints are gonna show different things. So it's like, always do a test spot first.
Right. So I'm gonna go back to the wool pad.
You're going back to the wool pad, Ivan. The reality though is with our 3-step, the way we're teaching this, we're not removing clear coat, right? Like very tiny amounts.
Very, very minimal amount. You're not wanting to remove clear coat. You're not wanting to chase those deep scratches, because when you chase those deep scratches, you're doing more damage to the paint than the scratch was. Visually, it looks way better, but in reality, you're removing clear coat. And when you're removing clear coat, you're damaging clear coat. And one thing I want to point out is the pattern that we have. So I was going up and down, now I'm going left to right, but I have a 50% overlap of the size of the pad. So these lines are half of the pad. And that's what we want to do. Now, do you have to go in a crosshatch pattern? No, you don't have to. But when you're just starting out, it makes it so much easier to remember where are we.
And I think it's something we should all keep in mind, that the little things that help you stay on track,
Yeah.
they're not so little.
No, and I'm purposely now gonna overwork this polish to show you what it looks like when it's time to wipe it off and move on. This could take a few minutes. We have achieved overworked.
So what are we looking for, Ivan? How do you know you've overworked the polish?
What we're looking for here is these little dots that we see, and we see through the polish very easily now. So like here, we don't see through the polish as much. But when we get to here, we have a lot more clarity, and the polish seems to be, for lack of a better term, balled up.
I will tell you, you're not gonna overwork this polish with the yellow waffle pad very easily.
No, it's gonna take time.
We've had someone tell us it took 40 minutes for them to work this polish.
And they gave up.
But with the wool pad,
Yeah.
and maybe you can explain this better, it will achieve its working time to a point where you better watch out versus the yellow waffle where it's just like, when you're done, you decide. It will decide for you with the wool pad.
Exactly, with the wool pad, because what's happening is we are removing a bit of clear coat at this point, and it's that mixture of clear coat and polish that's giving us that balled up look. So the polish is actually still good, But because of that additional clear coat within the polish, we're getting that. Now, if this were single stage paint, my pad would be green right now. And it gets that way very quickly. When we're working on clear coat, we don't see what we're removing, but we know we're removing material, we're removing clear coat.
I know this is kind of a discussion about paint and a polish video as well, but when did they go from clear coat? When did they start doing clear coat? I believe it was the 90s?
No, late 70s.
Late 70s?
Late 70s, and then different manufacturers, took more or less time to adopt the system.
So, okay, maybe I thought it was the 80s then, but it started in the 70s where they started to move to clear coat. Okay.
Right. Now, there's one deeper scratch right here, and you actually see the scratch more with the polish residue on it, and we'll see if we can capture it on camera. This deeper scratch, when the polish wasn't there, we didn't see that scratch. So the polish actually accentuates what you're seeing. And that one particular scratch, I know that I can maybe help a little bit. And I'm gonna use the 555 method for that. So starting with a clean pad, the 555 method is very simple. We have a clean pad. We have freshly applied polish to it. I'm gonna turn the machine up to speed 5. I'm gonna go for roughly about 5 pounds of pressure or till the backing plate looks like it wants to stall. And if it stalls, let up the pressure a little bit and roughly 5 seconds. Basically what I'm trying to do is not create heat, but I'm going to be rounding over the edges of that scratch so that we don't see it anymore. And in the right light, you definitely will see it though.
Wow.
So it was there somewhere. Actually, I can still, if I have the light just in the right area, I can barely make it out at the end of my finger here.
Yeah, you can see it if you're looking for it. That's not the whole game here. The whole game is not if you look for it under the right lighting conditions with the light, the dark shot, can you see it? Is it basically imperceptible to the regular person from 5 feet away?
To your average human being, it's gone. Now,
that's excellent.
Yeah.
I never know how it's going to turn out when you do the 555 because some scratches are so deep that it makes an impact, but it's not as visually striking.
Yeah.
This one is phenomenal.
And if you subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell, you're going to see this vehicle in another video. Now, the hood was bad enough we wanted to do a whole video just with the hood. But the rest of it, we're going to be polishing the rest of the car, and there's very deep, isolated scratches here and there. So we're going to be attacking them with the 555 method, and then just going over with the gold standard pad, the gold waffle pad, just to level the surface and make it nice and shiny everywhere. But those deeper scratches, yeah, we're going to be doing the 555 in numerous places on this vehicle. So subscribe, hit the notification bell, and you'll know when we put that video out.
All right, Ivan. The age-old question: do you remove the polish residue in between steps? Do you leave it on? What's your thought process on that?
You can if you want. It's just wasting your time. Now, if you're wanting to see the surface like we did here, and once you establish that baseline, there's no need to wipe it off. It actually gives you a better result if you leave it there.
So we're sort of in that test spot mode right now. Yeah. So it happens that we're doing it on camera, but now that we've sort of figured it out, we can just rock and roll. Do your step with the wool, leave the polish on the panel, and then move down to the waffle once we're done with this step.
Exactly. So off we go. So one thing I want to show, because heat is our enemy when we're polishing. And we've just finished polishing this section, and we're at 82 degrees.
I don't feel anything on the surface.
A section where we haven't polished at all, it's at 75 degrees. So we put it up just 7 degrees. Now, if we want to go a little further and show you what the bad points are of polishing, I'll give you this.
Okay.
And I'm at speed 3, actually 2.5 at this point. Let me just get this cord out of the way. So I'm at speed 2.5. Let's go to a flat section, and I'm just gonna bump it up to speed 4. No pressure, just like before. So what's the temperature there now?
100 degrees.
100 degrees.
102 degrees. Not sure if you can see it on camera, but yeah, 101.8.
So we've gone up 25 degrees.
Okay.
That's pretty much the limit.
A little toasty, for sure.
Yeah, so 30 degrees above ambient is where we want to go. Now, I'll bring it back
It's the
down.
highest we ever want to go.
Right, I'll bring it back down to speed 3, which is the average speed that most people go. I'll pick another spot. We'll check the heat if I apply pressure.
$125 is what it started at. 121.
Yeah.
It's dropping pretty quick, but it's about 120, 170. So it's dropping quick. But you had it north of 120.
Right.
So that's a 50-degree temperature spike.
50-degree temperature spike with barely, I might have had 5 pounds of pressure on it.
Yeah, a little toastier there.
Yeah. So imagine if you're cranking it up to speed 5 and putting all your weight behind it, how much heat you can generate. And that's why the 555, we stop before it creates heat. Now, time to switch to the waffle pad.
So we've got the entire panel pretty much covered in polish, save for this first section we did. And now you're going to the waffle pad.
Right, and I'm gonna leave this here, not do the waffle pad there just for a second. We're gonna do this and wipe it off and compare the two.
Okay.
And yes, you notice I have a few little wool fibers here. Brand new pad can shed just a little bit, but there's no dust. It's just a few little wool fibers from the pad.
Looking good.
Yeah, so we have a lot more gloss there than we do here. On camera, it may be difficult to perceive, but with our eyes, we definitely see a difference.
I mean, this panel looks just about perfect, Ivan.
Yeah,
Like, you'd have to be looking for this stuff.
right, but we can make it better. So let me finish polishing the rest of this, and then we'll do the rotary jeweling pad.
Ivan, is the reason we're not using a tape line?
A couple reasons.
Okay.
First of all, when you're using a tape line and your pad goes over the tape, it heats the tape just a little bit, bringing out adhesive. And that adhesive can get on your pad and actually scratch the paint or leave weird little lines that are very hard to wipe off. Secondly, if you have a hard line, you're trying to do that 50-50 shot that's perfect for Instagram or TikTok, well, unfortunately, getting that line out a little later on might actually be difficult to do.
People don't realize that
Yeah,
until it's too late. It's already so shiny, Ivan.
it is. Big improvement so far.
All right, Ivan, so you've done the first 2 steps.
Right.
And now you're switching machines to the rotary.
Yeah, we want the ultimate in gloss, and the ultimate in gloss comes from the rotary and the rotary jeweling pad. And I know this is, one of your favorite combinations, so
No, it's my favorite combo.
have fun.
I never really used the rotary for finishing before. I always used it for cutting.
Right.
And I'm telling you guys, the rotary for finishing, it's amazing. So we gotta clean the pad first.
Yeah.
Always on speed 1 to clean. And then speed 6 to free spin. And the good news about the gold standard polish is just 1 spray. I'm excited that I get to play around with the machine
And
now.
look how evenly the polish is spread on the pad. We see it well on the red pad. There isn't a clump anywhere. There's not a big drop, and he's not gonna get sling everywhere.
The reason I love this polish, the reason I love this combo, it's just so easy and smooth.
Right.
You just want to focus on keeping the pad flat on the surface.
Right. In
That's it.
contact with the surface.
Yeah,
And
and even contact patch.
And the less you hold on to the machine, the better it's going to perform for you.
So where are we starting? We did everything so far?
We've
Or
done
is there
everything 2 steps. Now you can start wherever you want and just work your way through. Again, we haven't wiped off the polish residue. There's no need.
And we're gonna go speed 1, which is actually what, 600 RPMs on the rotary?
600 RPM. And if you've never done this before, get a junkyard panel. But if you have, I always like to start on a flat surface like Nick is doing, just to get my muscle memory back onto using the machine.
Absolutely. And it might run away from you a little bit at first, Ivan. So what
Yeah.
do? Pretend like I'm a brand new polisher. Give me
So,
tips.
Yeah, don't hold on to it so hard.
So you want to keep it nice and flat, yeah?
Nice and flat.
I'm almost pulling up on it, aren't I?
Yeah, exactly.
To keep it flat.
And don't bend over like that. Stand up.
I'm trying to, okay, so you just tilt with the,
Tilt with your arms, not with your back.
there you go.
Let the arms do the work, not your back.
Wait, aren't you supposed to lift with your, no, your arms, your back. How do you lift?
Well, you lift with your legs.
There you go. So can I do this?
There's no need.
That's 2 patches. Should I go for 3?
You sure can?
How's my section size? A little large, or is that all right?
With the rotary drilling pad, you can go to a rather large section because it's not really working the polish that much. It's not doing a lot of cutting. It is just glossing. It's just enhancing. It's bringing out that ultimate shine.
It's called 3.5, that last kiss.
Yeah.
For good luck. So a nice damp towel there for the wipe off. Is there a possibility that the yellow waffle would have been a better finish than the rotary drilling pad ever? I mean, depending on the paint?
If it's an extremely, extremely hard paint and you're trying to use a DA, can I say wow?
You absolutely can. Woo! From here is where you see it.
That is not the same hood as before.
No, depending on the lighting. Over there, I didn't see it as crisp as here.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. I do love the rotary, Ivan. You've convinced me. Now, Ivan, I've seen your ways, and you can polish one-handed with the rotary. Could you show me how you'd go out in the center area of the hood with your one-handed magic?
Yeah, easily. Set it down. And basically, don't try to control the machine. I'm just using 2 fingers. That's all I'm doing. So I'm not trying to control the machine, I'm just following its guide. And if you are trying to be heavy-handed with it, so if you're trying to hold on to it tight, that's when it does that.
Yep, it wants to run away from you.
Because a rotary is just spinning in one direction. So if I do this, it goes that way. If I lift up on the handle, it goes that way.
Did you just leave swirls in the paint?
No, I'm going to take them out. The pad is soft enough that a little bit of misaddress on your part is not going to do much.
Or a mistake, you know, you can always just go one nice even pass over that, and it'll probably take it away.
Exactly. So just nice and easy, nice and simple. No pressure on the machine. There's no need to do this.
You scared me.
But as you can see, you know, 2 fingers on the machine, I can place it wherever I want. And one trick, especially if you're working on a junkyard hood, just close your eyes. Because when you close your eyes, your other senses take over. And when they take over, it becomes easier.
Doesn't make any sense till you try it, folks.
Yeah, but when you do try it, it makes a lot of difference.
This whole close your eyes and let the other senses take over. It works for sanding and window cleaning, and just try it, folks.
Yeah. But, you know, try it on a scrapyard hood first.
Yeah. We're pretty close, aren't we?
We're almost done here. We have this section to do, so
just right up here and then here.
Yeah, off you go, sir. You always want to apply your polish to a spinning pad. That way you don't have one clump of polish. And the trigger, how are you feeling about the trigger?
Angry.
Angry, yeah. Basically, you have to control the trigger. You have to be a man or be a woman, but grab that trigger, be firm, be angry with it, like you're,
Who needs a therapist when you can just,
Yeah, and you get the best pattern you've ever had, the faster and the harder you pull.
Yeah, it's just a nice even pattern here.
Yeah.
I could have sprayed it on the outer edge of the pad, and it might have even sprayed it more. But after you get this thing a pass, it's pretty much primed.
Exactly.
Yep.
A lot of engineering went into the trigger lock of the machine. We want that trigger lock to be very, very easy to use. That way you use it. It's there for a reason. If you're trying to hold on to that trigger, you don't have the dexterity, you don't have the flexibility you have without holding on to the trigger.
And I could tell I had so much polish left. I mean, I don't know what the right term is, but
you can keep going.
I could keep going.
You could do the front fender if you wanted to.
Yeah, with the rotary drilling pad, this process is just kind of that final kiss on the paint. And I don't need to go side-to-side motions, as you said, right? The pattern isn't very important. It's a matter of getting everywhere.
It's the matter of overlapping. So do a 50% overlap.
Yep.
And you don't have to do the cross-hatching. You can go left to right, left to right, left to right, or up and down, up and down, up and down. Just remember in your head to do 3 passes.
Okay.
And with that, we wipe off. Now, one of the reasons we use the rinse and stamp and towel to wipe off the polish is very simple. It breaks down the oils of the polish. And in doing so, makes it much easier to remove the polish.
There's a little dab, boom.
A little dab will do you.
A little damp wipe to a dry wipe. Yeah, the surfactants in the wet rag and the damp rag really cut right through the polish. What do you think, Ivan?
I think we've done a vast improvement on this. The Dukes of Hazzard can rest in peace. They're no longer on this hood.
It's a sad day for them, but a happy day for this paint.
Right. So people won't be calling this Lexus the General Lee anymore. Wow. With that, we have shine, we have gloss. Yes, we still have some deeper scratches, but those deeper scratches are so minimal that no one will see them unless they're absolutely down here looking for them.
And by leaving them, we're preserving finite, precious clear coat.
Right. Preservation over perfection.
If you like detailing and you want to learn more about polishing paint, well, folks, the conversation and the learning isn't over. Check out this video right here.